Hello, I'm Joel Freeman, and I want to thank you so much for joining me for this next installment. And this particular one is called Designing Your Future. It's part of the book I wrote called If Nobody Loves You, Create the Demand. And it's a powerful jolt of entrepreneurial energy and wisdom, and I hope you enjoy this particular segment. Now, designing your future is, I think, a very important part of entrepreneurial success because it all has to do with web design. And I think the first phase of any endeavor, and an ongoing phase, because once you get the website up there, it's a never-ending struggle to keep it up to speed, up to date, all the links put together. But also, it's if you don't have a website, you're not really in business. And it's just something that it's very important to have a website that really connects with people. You just stop and think about the way you function. You know, this isn't brain science or rocket science or any other type of science. This is something that every one of us has to be involved in terms of making sure the website is right up to speed. But just look at the things that trouble you and bug you, that make you get off a website and design it around that. Hopefully I'll give some pointers toward the end of our time together, some common sense pointers. But if you don't have a website, as I said, you're not really in business. And I think it's a more creative way to do your strategic business plan. In fact, we could call this the BPI, the business plan incognito, and an opportunity for you to take the ideas to answer all the 5 W's, who, what, why, when, where, and how, the 1 H, 5 W's and an H. And once you have finished all those particular aspects, you now have something that is viable. You have thought things through, you've brought it to the marketplace, and now you have a website. And so it helps you to answer those challenging questions to make sure that you are developing something that really is scratching where people are itching. Now, a lot of times what happens is that people get into business and they want to immediately make this beautiful paper brochure. And when you start to think about the cost of a paper brochure and then the cost to mail it, the cost to deliver it, it's really not the best place to start, in my opinion. It probably is important to have one, maybe down the road, to have some type of brochure. Basically, all I have is a business card. And the business card has a front part where it has all the basic information, and then also has the different arenas of expertise that I've developed. And so if anyone wants to know something about something that I do in the area of executive business coaching or critical incident debriefing or workshops or seminars or diversity or cultural awareness, black history, entrepreneurship, open registration seminars, anything like that is all on the back. And with a website that is designed to take them to that specific page on my website. And so basically I have one website, and I've developed a lot of different gateways to that website. It's kind of like having a house, and in this particular house, let's say you have one main entrance to the house, or a mansion, let's say. Let's take a look at a huge mansion that would cost millions upon millions, tens of millions of dollars to create. And you have this one main grand entrance, and that could be the main entrance to your website, the initial page. But then you want to have different other entrances through the back, through the side, through the rear, over to the right, left-hand rear side of the mansion, all over the place. Maybe have 5 or 6 or 7 different websites. Now the way I've designed it, see, for a personal illustration to help maybe for you to kind of provide a connector for what you do. I'm a professional speaker and a trainer, and so I'm thinking about different entryways. So I have this giant ancient Egyptian photo gallery. I have this whole section about diversity, a section about the Rosetta Stone. I have pretty funny stuff, a whole bunch of funny stuff that it has to make me laugh out loud when I'm by myself in order to put it on that section. And then I have quotable quotes. Some 3D stuff. And so that may sound like it's irrelevant to what I do, but what if there's a key decision maker looking for a quote for a speech and then suddenly realizes, hey, Freeman speaks, maybe we have him come and speak at our next function. And so it becomes an alternative way, an entryway, a gateway to bringing someone wanting to come in. They maybe are not looking for a speaker, but they end up finding someone to speak at their next conference in the following year, let's say. And so it's important to have a number of domain names. It's kind of like digital real estate. And I'm encouraging you to become a digital real estate mogul where you can develop domain names. In fact, if you're thinking of something for the future, some business idea, don't tell anybody until you have bought all the domain names, especially .coms. Don't go for all the .infos and .this and .that. The .coms are the most important websites to get, the domain names. And you can develop these domain names so that if, for instance, just to give you an illustration, if you go to diversitycrazy.com, that'll take you specifically to my diversity page. If you want to know about my bio, joelspeaksrealgood.com. joelspeaksrealgood.com takes you straight to that page, just as a point of illustration. And so you want to have a very welcoming website where it's kind of like, you don't want to have a cold clinical feel to it. Kind of get someone to kind of want to kick off their shoes and get a cup of coffee and sit a spell, and to hang in, have a stickiness to each page to draw people in and to keep them there for a while. And another thing is you want to have clean, simple pages. You want to stay away from Flash. I know there's some people that are into web design and they're going to say, oh my goodness, I love Flash. Well, maybe you do, but stop and think about the way you surf the web. I know when I come to a website and there's a Flash page and it says you can enter here after you watch all this Flash, all this really neat stuff happening, I immediately click to enter. I don't even watch it. The only people who like Flash pages like that are the people who create them and the people who own the websites. Believe me, that's the truth. And some people have slower internet connection and it just kind of messes them up. Another thing is that you want all photographs to be resized to the exact size you want in the website. If it's a small thumbnail or a larger, maybe 400 pixels by, let's say, 200 pixels, resize it to exact that same size, because if you have a huge photo that you resized for your website, that you put on your website that hasn't been resized, that whole image has to load in, and then it comes out as in the size that you've sized it for that web page. But you want to bring it down initially to that size, so that the whole file has to load down. I hope that's clear. Also, you want a sitemap that's easy to navigate, and people understand the length, the breadth, the depth of your website and can get there quite quickly. And it's linked into your first page, because when search engines spider your website, they sometimes go 1, 2, 3 pages deep on your website. So you want to have all your stuff on a sitemap immediately linked to your first page. Another thing is that don't make surfers scroll right. Everything's maybe not down too far, but definitely not having to scroll right on the page. And also keep the links updated. There's nothing worse than going to a link and it's nothing there. It immediately sets off the signal. This person doesn't know what they're really doing. And also you want to give just enough information to people to want more. For instance, if you're selling a book, give away the first chapter. And make that chapter compelling. If you have to jump into the second chapter just a bit, and then stop about 3 or 4 paragraphs in, ... and you got to get the rest of the book to find out what's after that ... But give them enough of information to want more. And I hope this has been helpful, and I hope this has helped to design your future, because the website is a very big part of whatever it is that's inside of you that you want to get out to the marketplace. Thanks again for spending time and in this particular vignette, and pick up the book. If nobody loves you, create the demand. And hopefully it'll be a benefit to you. This is Joel Freeman saying thanks a lot for hanging in there for these few minutes, and see you again next time.